Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we will start from the third trial and the trial of knowledge and the story of Musa alayhi salam and Khidr alayhi salam. To understand how knowledge can be a fitna, we must understand the meaning of the word fitna. The word fitna has lots of meanings such as tribulation, temptation, conflict. The word fitna's root words are fa, ta, and nun. There are lots of hadith talking about what will happen before the Day of Judgment. Narrated by Abu Hurairah, the Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, "The time will become short, knowledge will be decreased, civil strife, fitan will appear, niggardliness will be cast into people's heart, and hajj will be prevalent." He was asked, "Messenger of Allah, what is it?" He replied, killing. This hadith above is in Sunan Abi Dawud in the books of Talaq and Fierce Battles. This hadith is telling us about what is going to happen. Basically, has already started in the world already. Day by day, people are losing their religious knowledge and constantly replacing it with worldly knowledge. Then one day, they will lose their identity completely. As you might already know, the Dajjal will be coming with 4 trials that the world has never experienced. One of those trials will be the trial of knowledge. Knowledge takes a person in either of the 2 ways, and those 2 ways are either arrogance or humility. Knowledge is a test for even the most knowledgeable person, because the slightest slip using knowledge, it has the capacity of making you misuse it constantly. It is like smoking. If you smoke once, you get addicted to it. The fitna of knowledge is always caused by a person who is highly knowledgeable and respected in the society. One of the greatest examples for this was Musa bin Habib, the leader of the tribe of Bani Hanifa. He had a high status, and so the people were inspired by him. When the message of Islam came to him, his arrogance got the better of him and made himself into a prophet. Knowledge is a gift from Allah. Without it, who knows what we'll be doing right now. He did not stop there. He made up revelations. He even made up surahs about frogs and toads. The fitna of knowledge can only be brought down by someone of a high status in a society, not from a person who works on the fields or who is poor. This fitna starts off with a person's mind. If he obeys it, then he will start spreading what his mind said to him. This becomes a fitna, because there are so many people following him or her. Keep in mind that everything that humans are after can be used for fitnas. There are 4 trials that have a huge impact on all of us, and those are the trial of wealth, knowledge, power, and the trial of faith. These trials are happening currently to the modern world today, but when the Dajjal comes, these trials will become almost impossible to hide from. Knowledge is a type of weapon that can be used to defend or attack. The fitna of knowledge is when the weapon has been drawn for an attacking purpose, not for defending. It was narrated by Anas bin Malik that the Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, "The greatest reward comes with the greatest trial. When Allah loves a people, He tests them. Whoever accepts that wins His pleasure, but whoever is discontent with that earns His wrath." This hadith is in Sunan Ibn Majah in the chapters of tribulation. This hadith is telling us the answer about why Allah sends down tribulation on a group or on one man. No fitna that has ever fallen on humanity has ever come down with less positivity than negativity. No matter how hard the trial is, there is always one or more things that is positive about the trial. This trial is existing in the world currently. An example for this is the man who says, "Alcohol is not haram, it is makruh." Now on to the story of Musa alayhi salam and Khidr alayhi salam. Khidr, also known as the Green One, is described in the Quran as one of Allah's servants who was gifted with His mercy and knowledge. Due to these gifts from Allah, he could understand the secrets of life and therefore could also bring about changes in the affairs of the world. The Prophet Musa alayhi salam was asked by Allah to travel to the union of the Red Sea so he can meet Khidr. Prophet Musa then set out with his young follower Yusha bin Nun. When they arrived, Khidr had his doubt about taking Musa alayhi salam with him. but allowed him to accompany on the condition that he will not ask any questions about anything and be patient until he himself mentioned it. They both started their journey and boarded the ship. Al-Khidr bored a hole in the bottom of the ship. On this action, Musa a.s. said, "Have you torn it open to drown its people? You have certainly done a grave thing." Al-Khidr a.s. then replied by saying, "Did I not say that with me you will never be able to have patience?" Then they continued their way until they met a boy. Al-Khidr a.s. killed him. Because of this action, Musa a.s. said to Al-Khidr, "Have you killed a pure soul? For other than having killed a soul, you have certainly done a deplorable thing." Then Al-Khidr a.s. replied by saying, "Did I not tell you that with me you would never be able to have patience?" Then Musa a.s. said to Al-Khidr, "If I should ask you anything after this, then do not keep me as a companion. You have obtained from me an excuse." Then they continued their way until they arrived in a town, and they asked for the people who lived there for some food, but they refused to offer them hospitality. Al-Khidr found a wall that was about to break, so Al-Khidr a.s. rebuilt it. Then Musa a.s. said, "If you wished, you could have taken it for it a payment." Then Al-Khidr replied by saying, "This is parting between you and me. I will inform you of the interpretation of that about you could not have patience." The interpretation is as follows. As for the ship, it belonged to poor people working at sea, so I intended to cause deflect in it, as there was after them a king who seized every good ship by force. And as for the boy, his parents were believers, and we feared that he would overburden them by transgression and disbelief. So we intended that their Lord should substitute for them better than him in purity and neater to mercy. And as for the wall, it belonged to 2 orphan boys in the city, and there was beneath it treasure for them, and their father was righteous. So your Lord intended that they will reach maturity and extract the treasure. What we learn from this story is that Allah's wisdom is beyond human knowledge. What seems like a loss may be a gain, a cruelty may be real mercy. Returning good for evil may be justice and not generosity. Man's limited knowledge and his inability to see into the future result in sadness over apparent tragedies. But a true believer will not lose heart at such losses, as he has faith in Allah, whose plan always works for the good of human beings. Constant effort is necessary to gain knowledge, which is always in contact with life as it is lived. A thing that we learn from the story is how we judge each other. We do not even let the person justify the reason why he did it, and we would just start throwing punishments and accusations at him. An example for this is like if someone does a robbery and a civilian stops the man from committing it, and the police come and see the civilian holding the bag stuffed with cash. The police would arm themselves and arrest the civilian because it's human nature. If you see something happen right in front of your eyes, you would react to it. You will not just sit there. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.